are y'all today? Happy Sunday. Um, we are ready for episode, I believe this is edit number 18. I honestly don't know what we're editing today, but we are here and we will find out. We are... Hi, Regina. How are you?
And yes, it is episode 18.
Okay, good. Do you know what we're editing?
That's a good question.
I realized that I don't actually know. So
hold on. I can tell you. It's going to be one of the bonus ones because we skipped those for a bit. But if we can pull it up, we'll be good. Hold on. Not free writing. I want my writing prompts. There we go. Yay. Okay. So bonuses. So last week we did one of the bonuses, which was following the wrong star. And when I say bonus, I'm talking it's a story that we made up a prompt for back when we did Flash Fiction Live episodes, and now we're doing Flash Fiction Live edit. So during the episode, we made up our own prompt outside of write the story. So let's see here. Which is funny because I never got an email response from the Piccadilly Publishing Company when I was like, hey, we're totally using your book. We're giving you credit. Is this okay? Never got a response.
I mean, I think Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I think we covered ourselves. Like, we never once said this is our book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did our best and, we linked to their stuff on YouTube. So, I mean, yeah, from our YouTube videos, there was always a link to the book. So,
and I could never figure out the how to get paid link. Like, for anybody who clicks on that from Amazon, like we would get paid. Could not figure it out.
Oh, we'll have to set that up sometime.
Yeah, and then go back over so many episodes. As long as you do yours that were on your channel, I'll go through and edit all like 200 of mine. Actually, it's less than 200 because there was times where I did like 7 flash fictions a week. So, and documented it. Okay, we got 2 options. There's episode 14 bonus called Leaving Earth Forever. And then there is episode 13, so not a bonus, called Wrapping Up a Business Trip.
I don't remember that one.
I remember Wrapping Up a Business Trip. This is where I did at least I remember what I did. I did a full, what is it called? Dialogue only. And it was like a found recording situation.
Oh. I don't remember that one. Hi, Eva.
Hi, dear.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I wonder if we weren't. We should have been together. No, maybe we weren't. Okay, no, that might have been just me, maybe, unless we did a 2 for that day. Or 3.
Wrapping up a business trip I have here. Dobby.
Episode 13, Wrapping Up a Business Trip.
I just didn't have the episode. I just had the date.
Oh.
So
it is one you did?
Yes. I also have yours.
Perfect. Let's throw it in. And I will set up my...
I sent you a edit 18 doc.
Thanks, dear. It's like we're a good team or something. Excuse you. This darn little... Okay, fine. I'm not going to be using the keyboard that should be working.
Today is a technically difficult day.
Work it.
Here we go. I have made headings on the side so you can just jump to also you're muted. Ooh, Regina, what are you having for lunch? I just had a sandwich a little bit ago.
Okay. Man, I still haven't had lunch. I haven't had breakfast. Oh, no, I did have one of those little like snack size crunch bars out of my son's Lunchable because I didn't want to give it to him. And I was too impatient to like set it off to the side and wait for him to finish eating. So it's okay. He has plenty of other chocolate and candy. Okay. I'm not stealing his one source.
You didn't eat all of his Halloween candy?
No. In other news, yeah, that's the husband. In other news, remember how I was sick last week?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I texted to you, but I should have. I had strep.
Oh, that checks out.
Yeah. I was like, I lost my voice twice. I've been coughing up a storm. I finally, like, I think last night was like the first night of no coughing. Was it no coughing last night?
I don't remember hearing coughing.
Okay, he didn't hear coughing, or we're both becoming immune to it. So, yeah, it was comical.
I remember having strep. I had strep 3 times when I first moved to this city, but it's like it's kind of known for allergies being terrible, and then you just kind of get all the crud.
Yeah, all I had was drainage into my throat, which is still affecting my voice a little bit, and my nose, like being congested. But I could blow stuff out, and then excessive coughing. That was it. Those were the 3 symptoms.
But you didn't have like the redness and the.
No. Though Friday, a week ago Friday, that was on Alex's birthday. I just felt tired and I needed rest. So that was the only thing I was like craving was rest. So
yeah, strep is no joke.
Yeah, I've had mono before, and that was just I wanted to sleep. That was my only symptom was give me all the sleep. Yeah, and then it never went away. Very first time we let
Piper. Sorry.
Very first time we let the child play with other children, neighbors' grandchildren, before vaccine for his age. He got strep. Oh, I was so worried that Spencer had it because he had a cough and everything. I took him to like urgent care twice. One time I forget what they were just saying it's like throat irritation because that's all he had was a throat. But then he had this excessive cough, and I'm like, oh my god. But luckily, I was tested for like flu and COVID, and I was negative, so they didn't test him for that. But they did test him for strep twice, still negative, and they're like, just try not to be around each other. I'm like, are you kidding me? As you're calling me to tell me the diagnosis, my son is crawling into my lap. There's no separation.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Wait, you show my back.
No, it's fine. I don't. You wanted me to show you my diffuser, but to move the camera around and stuff, it's a pain in the butt. So,
oh yeah.
And since it has water in it, I don't want to lift it up like Simba or anything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been fun. Maybe. Okay, hold on. Let me jump over to shared with me. I had it open this whole time and I just never freaking clicked on the drive. All right, now I need my handy dandy clock. Excuse you. Nope. I swear, on one of these sprints, I'm going to go grab like a pack of Pop-Tarts or something. All right.
You should definitely eat. Food is important.
Okay, that's an extra screen. There we go. It's like I'm slowly learning how to operate my computer. Speaking of, I'm not sure if I told this story before, but Zoe was using her dad's phone for something and couldn't get the sound to work. We're like, flip the lever on the side to put it silent, press the volume button or whatever. And she's like, I can't get it. And Spencer's like, give it here, give me. And she's like, no, Spencer. And Alex and I both were like, no, seriously, give it to your brother and everything. She gave it to him. He had sound working like that.
That is wild.
Kids are awesome. It was just so funny because she's like, what? How did he? And we're like, don't question it. He knows things, okay?
You know what does get me, though? I play, like, the random, like, stupid games on my phone. But I like to do that, like, fidget-type games while I'm reading. And there are some games where you do that, and they automatically, like, if you have an audiobook going, they will shut off the sound, or like a podcast, they'll shut off the sound on your audiobook or podcast when they're playing ads. Even if you have the sound on the game muted.
Oh my God.
Or you have the sound on the game muted and then the ad starts playing with sound.
No. Because I've done that with my games, but it's never like, it won't unmute it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so annoying. So whenever I have a game that I start, like, that I'm testing out that I play and it does that, where it like pushes the sound through even though everything else is muted, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not playing that anymore. You have no respect for me as a person.
No, because also, what if you're like in an environment where you can't really have headphones on and you don't want your volume on or whatever? Yeah. Like, that should stay muted or something. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Also, if you have your phone silent, you shouldn't
override that.
Yeah.
The only and I think even then, phones that are silenced, like Amber Alerts, will still come through.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I like it.
How are you?
Flashers. We're flashers. I like it. I am adopting it. Which
is that like I'm a naughty hooker for crocheting? Have you seen those? They have like shirts and mugs that say that.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
That's funny. I'll take it.
We will take it. All right. I guess we need to start. I believe I can't remember if we had a challenge for this one. I know I went full dialogue on mine.
I didn't note that there was a challenge on this. I feel like if there is a challenge, we usually include that.
Yeah. So, Mom Maggie, I am also a hooker.
Yes, it's better with the spelling.
I like Just Divas. I made a shirt that said I write flash fiction with the faded.
That's fun.
Thanks, babe.
Also, my overhead light keeps going off and on, and I know it has problems, and I just haven't done anything about it. This is fine.
Get your own bag.
Oh my God, you took my bag.
No, I didn't. This one was
over there.
Maybe I did.
So we're gonna have, I believe our usual.
You're grabbing laundry, and he was about to leave out my bras, so I had to.
This is an emergency.
Yeah. Thank you, honey. Okay, back to this. It's the one piece of merch that isn't offered through this supplier. A 365-day calendar. I was hoping it was an option.
Oh, that was
a desk calendar with 365 stitches. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to get started. All right, so 10 minutes. Chandra and I are going to read each other's work, give suggested edits, comments, and then we will come back and talk through them. And then we'll have 20 minutes to Invoke, involve, and the only word is coming to a mind is adjudicate, but that just is asinine to use that word. I keep on using big words to me to explain this, but
today
we're gonna address the comments and everything, and I want to say invoke, but it's like involve in input
review.
Sure, whatever. It's taking them under consideration, and with us, most of the time we take the other's comment. Like very few times do we actually go against it, and you know what? Like good critique partners, we don't take it personally.
Well, that's the other thing though. When we talk through it, usually it'll be like, hey, this is what I was trying to do. And we're like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Or we'll be like, oh, maybe do this instead. It's not like just there's dialogue around it. And I think that's really helpful.
We never say this sucks. We just say, I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, I mean, you have told me something sucked one time, but it did. So.
Yeah, that checks out. Like, I can't think of when it would be, but yeah.
Do you know, though, I don't know if I said this live before, but I feel like it's someone telling you that there's spinach in your teeth. Better a friend tell you than let you walk around like that all day.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you. And it's like how comfortable I am with you is how loud I will tell you. Like, there's the pull to the side going, hey, by the way, you have spinach in your teeth. And then there's the, hey, sweetie. And then there's the, hey, by the way, right here. But that like the middle is like the really good friend. The other one is like, we used to be friends, but now we're enemies, and I'm still gonna mess with you. Like it's borderline. Like I got it out for you, and
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah. But it could also be, that last one could also be like really, really close friends.
Mm-hmm. It's really, really close friends with really, really close friends.
Yeah, around really close friends, not public place and stuff.
The other one is spite and enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, and that's usually in like the middle of a dissing argument. And I go, oh, really? You got something right here. Like as they walk away, so they know the whole conversation happened.
Yeah, with the spinach in the teeth.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to stop procrastinating. All right. In 3, 2, 1. We should put up a banner. All right. Oh, I'm all over the place.
So,
yes, dear.
I didn't do a ton of editing on yours.
At one point when I was done, I scrolled down and I saw nothing. Buddy, I'm on a live stream. Oh, thank you very much. He's just giving me my phone back. But I scrolled down and my entire story was highlighted. I was like, oh God, is it that bad?
So no, actually, I only think I added a quote and changed, not even changed a word, but just corrected. It was like a typo.
Yeah, I have lots of those.
Yeah, I added 2 quotes and corrected 1 typo. There's one part here at the top. I'm being a little picky, and I say I'm talking about this because the person he's on the phone with is his admin, right?
He's not on the phone.
He's not on the phone?
Yeah, he said, so it's like a audio recording, like little recorder thing.
How? I'm super confused now.
It's kind of like found footage situation of where he had this little recorder thing. Like, have you ever seen people like being able to record notes?
I have. Yeah. I don't hate it, but I do find it confusing. And I thought it made more sense for him to be like on in-flight calls or something like that.
But then I feel like we would have her talking, and we don't, and so that would make it even more, by not having her talking. So I can understand the confusion. Yeah,
I was thinking the POV was just in the plane, not hearing both sides of the conversation, but we're in the plane just seeing him. So it could be like a third party bystander or something like that. I guess that's what I was thinking, is he's like the one loud business guy on the phone and everyone else is just kind of like putting up with him.
Yeah.
And the reason I found that confusing is because asking him to transcribe the notes, right?
Yeah, asking Cynthia to transcribe the notes that he was saying. Like he's like talking through it.
Yeah. So I think then this would make one thing really clear. But it also makes some of what he's saying confusing. Please transcribe the following notes to clean up for the contract I sent to you this morning, my time. If he's recording this and it's not a phone call, then this is static, right? So saying this morning, my time doesn't have any meaning to it. He would need to say the date and time, because when is she going to get these notes? If he sent the email this morning, the instructions about the email don't in a transcribed voice memo that she's not going to get till after he lands, doesn't help.
Okay, so here I could put in with the timeline, I'd be like, it will be it's that I sent before my flight, that I emailed before my flight took off. The contract that I emailed before my flight took off. Like, kind of make it seem like he plans to send this current recording. He'll email this voice recording when he lands, is what he's going to say, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I guess, though, what's confusing to me is what information did he send her? And this might be really in the bug best, and I don't know that it's necessarily relevant, but this is just where my mind goes.
Yeah.
How is this recording going to be helpful to her if she already has the email with the contracts, right?
Yeah. Like, and I think what I need to do is like he emails her the contract with notes, and now he's thinking of like other things to add, and that's why he's doing the voice recording, and he plans to send this voice recording after he lands.
Yeah. And I would say maybe a little more clarity around that, because it does come across confusing. The other
I just came up with that now, so all right.
Yeah.
So that'll be one thing I do.
The other thing that I was after, I was like, as his admin, she should know where he is and what he's doing. So maybe lighter on those details and more specific on what they're working on. Then the other part that makes me more confused is, since they're not actually on a phone call, like right here, he's not finishing his sentences.
Yeah, because he just spilled a drink on himself, and now he's just talking, like trying to clean it up, and then but he's still saying it. It's like, please make a note to swing by the board. So he's still giving her directions in this.
Yeah. So,
and I think once I clear up the beginning of this the audio recording, like this part will make more sense.
Yes. And I think also you can still put in the quotes, and but break up the quotes with like what he's doing with physical actions.
That's the issue, is that I wanted full dialogue. So it was still, I kind of want to stay true to that challenge.
So it can still be in quotes, though.
Like, that's why I'm kind of having him narrate what he's doing a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know about that, because I guess what I'm thinking is there's a bunch of other people. He's on a plane. Stuff is weird. He spilled something on himself. At a certain point, I would expect him to not be thinking about the fact that he's recording and be focused on, like, is what he spilled on himself hot or cold? I know you says now he smells like a bar, and I would expect, like, he's bumping into his seatmate. He's really on.
Okay, so I'll have, because I imagine it's like a red eye or whatever, and he's pretty, like, he's got elbow room.
Yeah,
and there's not many people there.
So, and I guess that's where, like, I like the idea of it being. It's hard to get the setting without knowing that it's a voice memo. So I'm trying to think about how to do that. Keep it being dialogue, but also get some more of the setting, because otherwise it's like floating heads. So even if we come in from the POV of an investigator sitting down to listen to the tape, we still have as the reader a frame of reference. And I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think when I make some changes at the beginning, I because I'm not ready to let go of this like full dialogue thing, but I think I can make some changes at the beginning. And make it clearer at the beginning. Like, move up the I'm sentenced in this tin can for my flight back, like move that sooner and stuff. And not that specific line, but like say I'm recording this on the flight because I thought of some more notes with that contract that I sent you right before I got on the plane.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So things like that can help clear it up. And then bringing in more of the setting of like he's grabbing his stuff in the seat next to him, in the he put his stuff in the empty seat next to him or something like that.
So maybe that's part of it, of like, as you're going through, he's interacting with different people, but he's still got the recording running the whole time. I will say, though, that could be a tricky situation. And I mean, this is fiction, of course, but depending on where you are, I don't know what the law is about recording people without them knowing, which I would say could come in potentially when he's interacting, like say with the flight attendant when he's getting settled in his row. So maybe this is like happening as soon as he's like boarded on the plane. He's already stowed his bags.
Yeah.
Like recording and stuff. And the flight attendant maybe comes by and he's like, I know it's a really light flight. Can I just put my bag here? But all of this is being picked up on the recording.
Yeah.
Or, even him talking, because, later on it's at the end, there's some dialogue, Mommy, I'm scared. This could also, and I think I was saying it's confusing who's talking here, which now going back through and understanding this is recording, that makes more sense. But to set yourself up for that, there could be a part earlier where he's talking in and he's like, sorry if it gets loud. There's a, kid on this flight. Who brings a kid on a red eye kind of conversation where he's like kind of muttering to the recording.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
And so like kind of setting up, I think him describing what kind of interference she might expect to hear on the transcript could make it clearer for the reader.
Yeah. Okay. I got some ideas. And what's happening here? Okay.
So that would be the other thing is like, even if he's dictating it, I think it should still be in.
I think what I need to do is, since it's writing and it kind of sucks a little bit, but I've italicized some things, but maybe even play with like a different font and where everyone has like their own font almost when it's other voices. And that
I like that actually. I really like that.
So I think that will help.
I think it's a bold stylistic choice, but I think this is a really good context to use it in.
Yeah.
I mean, just like I even have in one of my projects where I switched to a typewriter type font, which is where everyone's talking on a text channel.
Yeah, and I've seen that.
Yeah.
Also.
And I think, especially since you don't want to put in who's listening to the recording, I think it's the only way to indicate that there are different voices. And also it could be kind of a fun challenge to see what different fonts match different voices. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like that could be really fun. Yeah, so those are my main thoughts.
I got some ideas.
And this one thing, I wasn't sure what that is.
I imagine I'm going. I was trying to write that phonetically.
Yeah.
But like that is like an annoyance, whereas I'm imagining a like Ariel blowing her hair out of her face.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna write that.
Yeah,
because I wasn't sure. Like, especially now, I wasn't sure. It's like, is this the noise that the plane is making? Is this background noise?
And I wonder, and I feel like doing those special types of words where it's like bam, kapow, like those words. Mm-hmm. If I did something like that of like whoosh or something like that, or I feel like it would pull the reader away. So maybe I might drop that and keep like breathe, Brian, breathe, like type of like him talking to himself. And this is where I think I got some ideas here because I'm going to play with fonts. So
yeah, well, this is a challenge. This is an editing challenge as well as like a writing challenge. So I'm here for it. But yeah, I
can't wait to see.
But also, like when you think about it, it's like you're transcribing. The other thing is to write it like a screenplay and use the same, footsteps.
I just feel like screenplays take away a little bit.
I mean, it could be. It's just
it's kind of like putting a filter in, but like this is very like screenplay-ish, like where the movement and stuff is left up to the actor.
Yeah. Well, if you did it that way, then it would indicate all of the sounds, and you could write in what all the sounds are or what they sound like without having them assigned a value or a placement, which I feel like could potentially be more of the audio effect. The other option is to write the story 3 different times with 3 different methods. So do one.
Chandra?
Yeah. I'm voting for that one.
All right. Let me go through yours.
You're like, no, stop it. I'm not doing
that. Okay. So I wanted some emphasis.
If you think Natalie should write the story 3 times in 3 different ways, just put a 3 in the chat.
Oh, Spencer's closer. Okay.
How much do you drink when I'm hungry?
I drink a bit. Okay. So yours, and I have artistic license at the no matter what chat votes. So with yours, I put like some emphasis of italicized they when they sat down, and then I broke it up to another paragraph. And then instead of, because we're talking about a pink synthetic wig, when we got to light, I took it as color. So I changed that to thin, of too thin for the weather. So that way it was clearer for me. Here was my first comment of they seem nervous. And I'm like, what made them nervous? What actions? Were they shaking? Were they hunched, like looking away and stuff like that? Then they asked, are you watching the game? And then this, I just broke it up, took out where, gestured towards the TV. Germany was playing some game with the bat, not baseball. So here they swung their legs around to face me and turned the chair toward them, which, by the way, was a movement. Like, it actually made me move. I'm like, someone's moving my chair and I'm sitting in it. So their fingertips brushed my collar. I edited that a little bit. Took out the after and just said this smile that chilled me. But then we don't have a smile up here. But this could be based on what you have them do later of like they're less nervous. This could be a brush into that where they sit up straight with a grin or something like that. Like something that starts to show this change from nervous to in control. And then I added this just to show some action because we don't really have the main character reacting to this person, just kind of describing them. So I'm like, are they scared of this person? So here I threw in scooting away on the already small bar stool, like showing some hesitancy, unless that's not what we want. By the way, and I mentioned that later. Took out just, and then on this nervous now, this is where I was like, instead of bringing up nervous again, you've already talked about them being nervous. Talk about confidence. And do they have eye contact? How's their posture? Instead of saying they lack nervousness, bring up the antithesis of nervous.
Big word.
Hush. Alex went big word.
That's just the day you're having.
Yeah. But if you talk to that, then we kind of subconsciously know that they're no longer nervous. This part threw me off because you got them like, let's go back to your room, and they grab their arm and caressing their shoulder or whatever, and then just keep walking. I'm like, whoa. When did they stand? What do you mean just keep walking? So that would have been a good time because later you talk about them grabbing their laptop and wallet. So this would be a good time of nonverbals of like one arm is grabbed, and so they were able to grab the laptop and wallet with the other arm that was free and stuff like that. Then yeah, this is where I said it. I'm like, show that they grabbed it and actually got off the bar stools. Like were they yanked off and everything. That's fine. Okay. Then this part, this was like my final thing of if they were a guardian angel, I want maybe the MC notice a warning signs, or maybe the angel is looking around and like they see something that the MC doesn't, that triggers their physical emotional display. And so like, and I really wanted to know how did the MC feel towards this person. That's where I was like, are they nervous? Like, if I feel like this open-ended of I don't know what they saved me from, but I feel saved. I think that would be stronger if we had the MC conveying nervousness, hesitancy, and then an odd connection by the middle of it. And then to this part where they almost feel like by the angel walking away, they're like a part of them is going too. Type situation. So, ooh, Mama Maggie has some good points. Tremor of the hand is always good. So, yeah. But yeah, that's all the input. It was mostly like I want more from the MC, and then connecting of the MC and how they feel about this person, and then the person, instead of saying what they seem like, just capturing the actions of the person.
I have ideas. I have thoughts.
Sweet. All right. I am gonna set up a timer somehow magically. It's gonna be a little chaos on the screen for a bit, but it's okay. No coughing, not allowed. Spencer coughed again. Oh,
he said, "Try me."
Yeah.
Hiccups.
Oh, you got the hiccups. It was funny. One of my coworkers, she was trying to talk to me. I was like, "You're gonna have to call me through the work computer because my son has my phone." And so she calls me, and then she goes, "So who's in charge there?" And Spencer from the background goes, "Me." Really good. So
you're like, no.
It works. All right, we got 20 minutes on the timer, and I think we're good to get started. All right, ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Another one down.
I'm not done yet.
Of course not.
However, I've made really good progress.
I feel better about mine too. I put in what I needed. What'd you need, Spencer? It'll probably be done charging after I'm done on my live stream. Spencer got into my massage gun, which made me realize I probably need a massage gun in my lower back.
Yeah.
But it needs charging, and it's green right now, but he's asking when is it going to be done. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be done when I'm done with my live stream.
So I finished edits up to, there's 2 paragraphs remaining that have not edited. But I feel like each of those paragraphs could be developed into 4 paragraphs.
Oh my God. Luckily, you got the word bandwidth. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I've got plenty of room. I'm just now at
screen
484 words, and
not yet.
I think before where did I start? I started 292 words, so I've almost doubled my word count, and I could probably add another 250 words to it. Hi, cool gamer.
Hey. All right, that makes me curious what mine's at. Word count. 251.
You started at 229, so.
Sweet. All right.
It's good with all dialogue, though. That's, I could never. But I about cried when we did the challenge and I could only use dialogue. I think you even went back when you were editing and you were like, this is dialogue. This is not dialogue.
Yeah.
This is also not dialogue. Do you want me to read yours first?
I will read yours.
Okey-doke.
I'm a little done with mine. I'm curious where yours is at.
Just note, last 2 paragraphs have not been edited at all, but I would like to develop them into probably 8 paragraphs total.
Sounds good. I was wrapping up a business trip, sitting in the hotel bar, still working on my laptop when they sat down next to me. They seemed nervous as trembling fingers adjusted a pink synthetic wig, a shy, amorphous person with a top too thin for the weather and black fishnets under blue jean shorts. They picked at the fringes of their clothes, gaze darting around the room like a goldfish in a bowl. I try not to stare, but their nails were bitten off to the quick, and a high heel tapped at the staccato.
Tapped out the staccato, yeah.
Yeah, tapped out a staccato pace on the concrete floor. Are you watching the game? They asked, gesturing towards the TV. Germany was playing some game with a bat, not baseball. No. I shook my head and looked down at my computer, hoping they would go away. Swinging their legs around to face me, they turned my chair toward them. Their fingertips brushed invisible lint from my collar. There's an insect in your drink, they said, holding my gaze. It was the smile that chilled me. I knew there wasn't time to protest, but I hadn't expected that anything would go wrong on this trip. On this work trip. Their eyes searched mine, waiting for understanding, and a slow nod encouraged me to be quicker on the uptake. What do you mean? I asked dumbly, scooting away on the already small bar stool. I hadn't meant to let the sentence escape my mouth. It was only supposed to be a thought in my head. Let's go back to your room. Oh, what, Spencer? No. Not done. No. Let's go back to your room. Their voice was a little too loud, holding my arm and caressing my shoulder. The trembling hand was steady now, fingertips biting into my arm. This was more than a suggestion. They slid off the stool, tugging me along behind them. How did they know where my room was? I reached behind me, managing to snag my laptop and wallet. Just keep walking, they said. They walked right past my door and out of the hotel to the shuttle stand where the last shuttle to the airport was just about to pull away from the curb. They pushed me in and slid into the seat beside me, pulling the door closed. They looked straight ahead as a black-clad figure pounded a gloved fist against the window. The shuttle driver muttered in annoyance, but that kind of rudeness was expected in Atlanta. They spoke quietly once we were on the way, handing over papers and documentation I would be needing. Passport, ID, ticket. I'll wait with you, they said, till you embark. Oh my gosh. As the gate opens, they melted into the crowd. Pink wig, lost. Okay, I can kind of see where this is headed now. All right. Yeah, I could see 4 more paragraphs. And dude, you did all the changes. Everything.
So I did want to do a little bit more of like actually getting to the airport, getting through security and all of that. Is anybody still following them?
And yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, are they in the back of the bus? Can they look out the window behind them, see if there's like unmarked vehicles or?
Yeah. And there's a thing I watched. I think it was, I'm trying to remember what channel it's from. It's I follow the channel, but they have a CIA, a retired CIA agent,
yes,
interview, and he talks about what kind of clothes someone would wear. So I kind of wanted, instead of just the pink wig lost in a crowd, I wanted the wig to disappear into like a shoulder bag and then like be walking away into the crowd, but completely changing their identity as they're moving. And I kind of wanted that to be like the last visual of that character from the main character's point of view, and but them also like getting on the plane. So I feel like that's another 4 paragraphs.
The wig could be pulled off and then a scarf put around their head.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the girl with the dragon tattoo?
Yep.
When she goes to get the money, and they have like the camera footage, and she's got like the glasses and like the whole thing, and they're like, what's his name sees her on the footage that's been released to the TV. I kind of want it to be that kind of a moment where only a person who really knows what another person looks like can pick up what happened.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, and that I feel like the next few paragraphs would be enough to pull off all of that and make it clear that the reason the person approached them and seemed really diminutive was part of their ploy so that they could buy enough time where people thought that something else was happening. And, you know, this person really does need to be confident and self-assured in order to pull off the whole thing. So, yeah, more paragraphs.
I'm intrigued. I'd watch the movie and read the book.
Okay. I'll read yours.
All right, bring it on.
Cynthia, in true Brian fashion, I thought of a few more changes to the contract I emailed you before I got on this flight. I'll send this voice recording once we land. Please transcribe the following notes to clean up the contract. Also, I apologize for the background noise. It may be a red eye, but they don't prevent kids from flying. The first point is to add the effort of embarking in the digital sector. I'm going to pull out my laptop to make sure I quote this sentence. Crap. Now I smell like a bar. I spilled my drink on myself. Okay, I'll take this jacket off. Luckily, the seat next to me is empty. That reminds me, please make a note to try to swing the board on keeping the season baseball box seats without begging. Okay, I got my laptop and am signing in. Shoot, my email this morning didn't go through. I'll just send it along with this voice memo when I land. What was that? Folks, please take your seat and buckle your seatbelts. We are experiencing some mild turbulence. Great, just what I need. As if flying in a matchbox isn't enough. Either way, Cynthia, regarding the timeline for protest... Oh, God. Breathe, Brian. Breathe. Newton's third law states this plane should fly. I don't think we're flying anymore. Mommy, what's happening? I'm scared. I can't die. I have to see my kid. And I don't know what this says. What does that say? Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich. Cynthia, please tell my wife I love...
Ich liebe dich is a throwback because originally it said he was leaving Germany. And that's German for I love you.
Oh, cool. I do like the changes in font because it's like very clear that these are different voices and people.
I just wish Google had more font options. I was kind of limited.
Fair. Yeah. I think that cleared it up a lot. I do like the change, especially because there's actually a whole story arc with the email on its own. So I think it's really like, I don't know. I think it's clever too, where, they're adjusting plans with that, and I like the way that you changed it to include the voice memo and why he's still talking through everything. And it makes a lot more sense, but I can see someone shuffling into an aisle with a briefcase without you describing the aisle or, how things are going on the plane or how many people are on the plane. You still get a very clear picture of the environment without actually describing that environment, which I think is really artful.
Thanks.
Cool beans. Go ahead.
Now, I know we usually do a prompt, and I would love to, but I'm in an editing mood.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to edit another one. Because I shared, I said, this was 13, and then I talked about, which one? I think it was 14 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it? Let me see.
Is there one that you drafted that I haven't drafted yet that you want to edit and I'll draft?
Oh, all right. Hold on. There's plenty. Okay. I think it would be episode 31, which is the love of each other's lives. Let me...
I don't think I've done that one.
Here. I'm gonna open it. So I can tell you the words. Open sesame, dude. And I'm gonna need that one later. Let's think.
Oh, do you have the are you sharing the document?
Can. Yeah, hold on. Where? No, that's not. Killing me, Smalls.
And then I will I'll still use the 10 words, Also, if you want to suggest a challenge, we haven't done a challenge in a little while.
Okay. So the words, piano. You gonna type them out or
Yes.
write them? Okay.
Wait. Yes, I'll share a document with you.
Okay. I can also Control C.
Okay. I just sent it
All
to
right.
you.
Is it a new one? Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay. I was like waiting for it to pop up. Okay.
And I put a spot down at the bottom. I put both of our names on there.
Copy. There you go.
Perfect.
All right. And then I am going to read over this.
And did you want me to read over yours and put notes on there?
Oh, we could do let's do an. That's going to be kind of long. Dang it. I don't know how much time we got and how we can do it.
It's 3:30 right now, my time, so 2:30 your time.
Yeah. Whichever.
I feel like we can. If you have time, I have time.
I think we're okay. So what are we going to set a timer for?
Yeah, for 5-10 minutes, I'll read it and put notes in
Or
there.
do you want me to read it out loud and then? But you do better when you read it.
Yeah, I do.
Make notes. Okay. So we'll do 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes should be good.
All right. And no pressure, but I'll be watching you. Just like Sting. All right. 3, 2, 1.
I'm done.
Yay. I was reading feedback from the story that I submitted to a writing battle.
Oh, cool.
Where this is the one where the woman was writing with her fingernail when it broke.
Yes.
It's some good feedback. Everyone says like they love the imagery. They could picture it in their mind. I'm like, oh, thank God. I just got to fix my spelling check grammar stuff because apparently I suck at that.
It do be like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We're writers, not grammaticists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if that's grammaticians.
Sure. We'll go with it. All right. I also did a quick read through and I remember this story now.
So I tweaked a couple of things, phrasing, spelling, general grammar stuff. There are, I guess, 3 points that I wanted to go over. The first one was I couldn't get a sense of where they were. I wasn't sure if it was like in a mall or on Main Street.
Yeah, I took a Main Street approach, but I need to make that clear.
Yeah, just it becomes clear later in the story, but just so that as you're reading, you're not trying to figure out where you are.
Yeah.
The other thing, I don't think you wanted her to come across like this. But depending on how old he is, it seems like okay, if they are in on the street, in a mall, it depends on their age again, but like if they are on the street, then it's like what conversation is she having that's so important that she's not holding his hand?
Yeah. Even if it's on like a large sidewalk or something, yeah.
Yeah. So either his age is adjusted, or maybe she's like, hold on to my purse strap, or like, hold on to my pants or whatever.
Yeah.
Just something, because I don't think the intention is that she comes across like a dismissive, she does care about her son. She wants to know.
I want to show that she cares, but I also want to show that she definitely has her priorities askew.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's part of the story arc, I feel. The last part that I wanted to mention was she wanted to be righteous enough to have a blink to the world he saw. And I'm not really sure what that means.
I think it's like a glimpse in that. And I can't. Oh no, blink was not one of the words. Okay. So that would be like a glimpse. I was thinking of like, you know how someone says they just like just an ounce, just a dot, a drop of, like if she could just have just a little bit of that.
Yeah. So she didn't notice things as he did. I feel like that's a really good setup. I feel like maybe play with the wording for the last sentence. Because I feel like there's a metaphor in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I also feel like righteous doesn't have.
Oh, that was one of the words.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So that
I can delete it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I know where you're going with it, but it's like
I don't want to say innocence, and we're not saying pious and everything. We're not going a biblical route with this.
Maybe like present,
aware.
Yeah. Present, aware, thoughtful, maybe. But you also mentioned earlier, maybe it's an opportunity to bring back where she sunk to the bench after hanging up, allowing herself to finally breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a moment you could reference back to that, of where she's like, because in that moment when she finally breathes, that's when she observes her son, right? That's when she actually sees him. So maybe it's a way to bring that back at the end to say she's now aware that she wants to sit down and breathe so she can see him.
And the metaphor is like that. This is a cliche, but let out the breath they didn't know they were holding type thing of that like when you truly take a breath, like you thought you were breathing before, but now this is what it is. Like you, so
yeah, I'm tracking.
Yeah, thank you, dear. We speak the language.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's all I got there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does it being capitalized make sense?
Does what?
It being capitalized. Apparently, I capitalized both of them.
I think I would actually
like capitalize I, lowercase t.
Italicize.
Okay, all lowercase, but italicized.
Yes, because I think it's it's like saying tag but not saying tag. So
yeah. I forget how to italicize them.
I feel like if like English is your second language, reading stuff like that has got to be so confusing.
Oh, I love to see comedians like tear apart the stuff of the English language.
Yeah.
I was even thinking about it. So I play this game where it's like a scavenger hunt hidden thing. It's called June's Journey. And it drives me up the wall when it's a word that has multiple things. So there's bow, like a cute little bow on a with ribbon. Then there's bow like for a violin.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's bow like archery. And I'm like, oh my God.
Pick one.
Because it just has the word at the bottom. And I'm searching through the whole picture going, where's the bow? What kind of bow? And it just, oh my God, it drives me up the wall. And then there's other times where it says it's like vial. I thought was always like VIAL. Mm-hmm. They spelled it PHIAL. I'm like, I don't like you. And then there's other times where I'm like learning new words for old things, or they drop off a word for something. I'm trying to remember different times, but either way, it's enough to annoy me, but not enough to make me stop the game.
Well, because ultimately this is feeding into your writing by expanding your vocabulary.
Exactly. So. At least visually, not being able to speak though. Perfect. All right. Yeah. Well, you have now the love for each other's lives. I was about to say there's no way you can make this dark, but you can. But we got piano, fish, ceiling fan, which is one word. Behave, breathe, describe, irritating, enthusiastically, and righteous. And feel free to mark those, by the way. I'm not going to be using them.
Okay.
So I'll work on mine and try to make things clearer because I suck at that.
You do not suck at it. This was a first draft.
Yeah, true. Anita, I think I've said this before. It's like, look at things as an opportunity to see how far you've grown.
Yeah.
And I mean, and this is episode 31, I think. I said, so we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Final sprint. Timer's up. Are you not finished? Yes, Spencer.
You didn't hear me any of the things that I said, but what I said was, of course not. I'm not.
Yep.
But I think I'm actually going to add to this and maybe use it in another story that I'm working on.
Oh, it's becoming part of a different story.
Yes, something that I already had in the works. But
that's kind of nice. It's nice when we can build our flashes. Because I will say, I feel like flashes are really good to become chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way you got some closure, but also a question that makes you keep turning.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to read yours?
Did you finish yours?
I'm at a stopping point.
Okay, then I'm going to read yours.
Okay.
Just because I want to read it now. All right. Describe a time where you felt safe, her therapist said. She remembered playing Go Fish and starting piano lessons when she was 5. Now things were strange. A haze of remembering and forgetting. This was it. Dying. Finally. Learning to pirouette and the vague sense of drifting out of her body collided in a world where nothing made sense. Her mind spun around and round. The spins caught her as she gazed up at the ceiling fan that went out and around like her mind was nauseating. The feeling, the smells. They would be angry with her. She knew that much. How? Oh, he would rain. Go, dogs. Just go. Outside. Go. Go. God, annoying. The spins caught her as she gazed up at the ceiling fan that went round and round. Oh, nope, I already read that. He would be angry with her. She knew that much. He would rain his righteous indignation down on her with a vengeance, and she didn't care. The thought made her laugh, cough, gag, and retch. She couldn't breathe. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She couldn't stop them, even though she wanted to. Why should she be punished for dancing enthusiastically and singing at the top of her lungs? He would say she deserved this in his smug, irritating voice with the astonishingly nasal quality. Skinning her knees when she was learning to rollerblade had been a punishment for vanity. That was something she always struggled with. Bitsy Miller putting gum in her pretty brown curls had only been a part of it. Now she was here. There was probably a punishment for vanity. This was probably a punishment for vanity, too. She could hear him in the back of her mind shouting at her, "Alice, behave!" Even when she was practicing her dance steps in the aisle of the ShopRite, steps she had learned in dance class her mother drove her to on Monday and Wednesday nights. Vanity. She wondered if that was why her mother had packed up the station wagon and moved out. At first, she was angry with her mother for keeping them apart. Every little girl needed her father. But now she understood why her mother hid in another state. Her mind drifted back to that day in the grocery store. Parker Bertram had been watching her, smiling at her. The sting of her father's hand striking her cheek had been the thing that pulled her head from the clouds. Maybe she deserved this too. What did she expect when she had 2 parents that couldn't be bothered to even listen to one of them? Maybe she did deserve this. Whatever was happening to her now, it wasn't a slap that pulled her head out of the clouds this time, but the sound of Parker's voice. "Hey," he said, "are you all right? Did they hurt you?" This was a strange dream. From the sprawled floor of the ShopRite to the gravel lot with a balled-up jacket for a pillow. But not a dream. You couldn't smell in a dream, could you? "Hey," he said again, snapping his fingers. "Can you hear me?" Alice nodded. Did they give you something? This can be a really scary place. Can I help you get home? I know it's stupid. I probably deserve this, she said. I'm okay. I can get home. What? No, he said. Let me call you a cab. You don't have to do that, she said. It's not like we're in love. It's not like we're the love of each other's lives. Huh. I'm really curious where this is going.
Girl, same.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it, though. The main thing is that there is, like, jumping around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot. Like, this being here of describe a time where you felt safe. I need, like, the therapist to jump in somewhere again to remind us that she's recollecting this. And that was the prompt. Like, I need the therapist to come back to kind of pull us back of, like, oh, there's a purpose to this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the things that got me was, like, I don't know, it just, everything seems to be swirling, going round and round right now, like her thoughts and everything. And I if that's the goal, you got it, because where she's not really fully understanding her thought process or being able to grab all the memories.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of just going through all of them. And I kind of feel like I thought this was her, like, being in the store with Parker, and then her father struck her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that memory's closed. And then we kind of go back to something happening now. Like, the tense makes it seem like maybe she did deserve this, whatever was happening to her now is like a now thing. But yet we were just talking about what happened at the store as past tense, and then we're back to the store
Mm-hmm.
of Parker and stuff. So it was confusing of, like, where we are type thing. That was really it. I still liked the story, and I like the multiple points of kind of jumping around a little bit. We got a little taste of a lot of trauma happening that happened in this person's life.
Yeah. So it is supposed to be chaotic, and it's not really. The memories are supposed to bleed together. I do want to do a little bit more. I think you probably saw me as I was working. I grabbed the describe a time where you felt safe, her therapist said. That was actually at the end.
Yep.
I grabbed it and I moved it back up to the top because I was like, okay. I think I have something here. So that part didn't really get built out very much. There's a lot more I can do to build it out that I'm kind of mulling. And I think that part would go, I might actually remove part of that. I don't know. I would have to play with that for the context of where I'm going to use this.
Yeah. But I think it would help, because all this is at the beginning is the way I see it is, so therapist says this,
mm-hmm.
and then I feel like it's internal dialogue of her going, well, I remember piano lessons, I remember dancing and stuff like that. I enjoyed dancing, but then this happened and stuff like that. And mom left, and so it's like I feel like her mind's going chaotic. And then from the therapist's point of view, maybe he chimes in and goes, take all the time you need to think through your thoughts. So that way we kind of are pulled back in, but at the same time, the therapist has a purpose of them trying to help guide our main character through her thoughts to
don't just sit here and spiral.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can use the therapist as a tool there, as well as bring us back to the present. And as long as I think the main thing is that when the therapist is talking, it's present tense, but all the past is past tense. And everything, if that makes sense. Like if it's, unless, because the one line that throws me off was
When she's talking about whatever was happening to her now.
Like that, I'm like, okay, well, wait, is
And
this
it's
a
now.
court order therapist because she finally killed her father? Or something like something about this therapist is not right in the sense of like why she has to go to a therapist. The therapist themselves has integrity and is right in this the way it's set up right now. The other thing that I think would be kind of cool to play on is that you brought up vanity, the punishment for vanity. What if you also got a few of the other 7 deadly sins?
Ooh.
And I think so, like with the smile with Parker, it wasn't vanity. They're like no lust, you know, and stuff. So,
well, I would maybe put that into a different vein of the story. Because she's a child when that happens, and I guess from her father's perspective, that wouldn't necessarily mean anything because he's kind of a piece of work.
Yeah. Well, and from what I can tell, most when we're setting up problems and blaming a female for a male's action situation, it's usually explained by lust. And it could be set up not really called lust, but even the father could recognize, be like, no, that's the beginning of lust. And we're going to keep you pious or whatever. And like, so he's not calling it lust, but he's like saying, if you start with smiling, then you're going to talk to him and stuff. And like,
that's already like preemptively making everything her fault, which would then explain why she would be like, oh no, this is stupid. This is my fault.
Yeah. But that snowball argument and stuff.
Yeah.
So, either way, I love it. And I want more as always. And luckily you are promising more.
Yes. There's more of this to come.
So.
Okay. Now I shall read your story.
Yep.
This is with all the edits. Marshall, stay close to Mommy. Kelly pushed the phone from her ear and called out to her son, who'd gotten distracted by another storefront. She had let go of his hand as they strolled along the sidewalk, causing her to look back. Mom, the ceiling fan looks like it's made out of leaves, Marshall said as he ran to her side. Kelly nodded, then shook her head before speaking into the phone. No, we will not agree to those terms. Did they just submit them to fish for a freebie? That is so irritating. They're not even trying to negotiate. Marshall caught up to his mother. He looped his hand into hers. He swung their hands back and forth like a pendulum. His mother smiled as she pulled her hand from his and moved his hand to hold onto her pants leg. Marshall tried to keep pace with the tether, but his eyes still wandered. Each door was a portal to a new world. One had instruments in the window, and either a stereo or a live piano could be heard when a customer opened the door. Another further down had animals catching the eyes of each passerby, whose sounds were muted through the closed door. Watching the animals play with each other slowed and then halted Marshall's steps. Kelly looked over her shoulder. Hold on, Katrina, she said into the phone. She knelt next to Marshall. Sweetie, I really need you to behave today. We're on our way to the playground where you can explore, but we have to get there first. Marshall nodded. He and his mom continued their walk to the playground. Kelly checking over her shoulder more often to ensure he at least held onto her waist-level purse. But she stayed on the phone. A butterfly followed the mother and son for a block, but Marshall only allowed himself to steal a glance. He kept the same rigor when 2 dogs bounced and circled each other, wrapping their owners with their leashes. He allowed his gaze to linger for the length of 2 steps, but nothing more. Marshall looked to his mother to see if she caught him, but she only looked straight ahead for the final crosswalk sign. Once they arrived at the playground, Kelly motioned for Marshall to go play as she made her way to an empty bench. She paced clockwise and around the bench as she finished her phone call. After she hung up, she sunk to the bench, allowing herself to finally breathe. She looked for Marshall, only to see him sitting at the top of the jungle gym looking out over the playground while the other kids played chase, hide and seek, all interacting together. Marshall saw his mother and waved. She waved back, but motioned for him to come to her. He ran over and sat next to her on the bench. "Do you want to play?" Kelly asked. "No, just watch," Marshall said. Kelly laughed. "Why is that?" "Watching is like seeing everything. We're playing, you only see what you're doing." Kelly's brow furrowed. "Can you tell me what you saw today?" Marshall began to enthusiastically describe the day's adventures, including the butterfly follower, the tangled puppies, the learning piano, and even the children who enjoyed being it. The more Kelly heard Marshall talk about the world from his eyes, the more Kelly sat in awe of her son. She didn't notice things as he did, but in this one breath, she was whisked away on one of his adventures. Yes, absolutely yes. That was so perfect.
That last line, I wrote it and I was like, let me think of some few more lines because I wasn't sure about it. But then I went back and read it and I went, nope.
No, that's perfect. It brings the breath around and it also ties in like the imagery of what you'd initially written, and I think it's absolutely perfect and I love it so much. Also, I wanted to say I really liked how you had her really paying attention to where he was, so it's clear that she's not just letting him wander around on the sidewalk not being safe.
Yeah,
but she's also giving him enough like responsibility of like, okay, look, here are some different options of things that might work for you, but you have to stay with me this is to keep you safe. So I thought that progression was good. Also, like, we know she's busy, and I like that. Not like she's a working mom. She's allowed to take a phone call while she walks her kid to the playground so he can play, and she's doing like,
I was on a work phone call when I had to pick Spencer off the bus before. Like, I'm on the phone and I'm like, okay, this is how we're gonna do this, and so
yeah, it's like you can do more than one thing at a time, but I feel like that, like, really being conscious of like what's safe and what's not safe conveys how much she cares, and also doesn't negate how important what she's doing on the phone is. So
I mean, one of my favorite things was showing him kind of like the swinging pendulum, because my kids have done that. I did it as a kid. When you're holding someone's hand, you're like swinging it aggressively. She's like, okay, we're not gonna hold hands anymore. Like, to me, that was like the epitome of parenting, when you're trying to keep them close, but they like close is too close,
and you're like trying to focus on something, and you're like, okay, I need to know where you are, but I'm also like overstimulated, and you gotta stop.
Yeah, please stop swinging my entire left side of my body.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works. But yay, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So that was an improvement, and now I'm really curious to see where my word count is. I'm gonna copy that and paste it in the document. We got so many documents. I think this one was 524.
591 right now.
Oh. All right. I got my dogs hacking up lungs over here. They do it every time. Like, they run outside. They're like me. Like, if I do running or something, it's a lot.
Yeah.
591. Yeah. All right. I'm going to save that. Sweet. Glad. I think I like to do this because I feel like my big goal right now is editing. And I really need to focus on that. So I kind of like this, like, where I get to edit another one and you'll end up.
I think they're done.
It's very close to being done. So, all right. 591. 76 words more. And What's up? Yes, it does take a long time. Now I got to see the other one just because I have to. And then what's really cool is that I've edited my Excel spreadsheet. I'm about to nerd out here for a second. So that is 254. Come on. All right. So with my spreadsheet, now whenever I punch those numbers in, this updates automatically because I have count if this column, which is the word count after. Yeah. This column is count if it's greater than 1. So if I put any number in there in the word count and it's greater than 1, it will count it. So I've done 44 flashes so far editing this year, which is actually really behind. Average words is all the edited words, and it only counts if it's filled in. And then the last one, my favorite one, is average the count if the edited column is filled out, and average the column next to it, the cell next to the column. And because before I was having to type this, please stop messing with that. I was having to type this by hand and constantly select the cells, be like, yeah, count this one.
Make it math.
And now it's automatic. And
yeah,
I follow Excel pages for this same feature. In a little bit, hold on. I follow Excel pages for this, like, hey, do you have information that you need across and everything? Then you need it to filter and stuff. And I'm like, yes.
Tell me more. You're muted. It says you're unmuted now.
Yeah, now we're good.
Okay.
Spencer moved my microphone, which unplugged it. So thanks, Spence. But yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, we're going to do it in a little bit. All right. I think now is the time we let everyone go. Have fun. And, you want to end it? Okay. And Spencer's going to end the stream, apparently.
We'll be back on Natalie's channel next
week. Yes. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yep, click it. And then go down and click again. It's a whole ordeal. Yep, click that.
Good job, Spencer.
Come on. There we go.